Dark Ops challenges are probably some of the hardest challenges to complete in COD Zombies, except for a couple, like downing while taking a perkaholic. That one's just hard because like it's a perkaholic and it like pains me to do it. However, there is a ton of different challenges that are not fun to complete. In fact, most of them take over an hour to 2 hours to do. And it was a journey. I'll just say it was a journey. But in today's video, I'm going to be going over how I completed every single Dark Ops challenge except Nebula and 1,000,000 kills. Because that's going to take way too long. I'm going to do a separate video for that. But I hope you guys do enjoy. Let's get right into the video. Another thing I want to preface before we jump into this quick. I already had some Dark Ops completed just even before recording this video, like getting to round 30 without dying, the Liberty Falls bowling strike one, and like round 100. I had a couple of them done just before recording this, but yeah, I completed every other challenge that I didn't have unlocked. The first challenge I decided to do on this new journey was starting Loadout. Now what this one is, it's really simple. You can't buy perks, and you have to get to round 20 using your starting loadout. So that's your knife, whatever gun you logged in with, tacticals, lethals, and your field upgrade. Can't use gobblegums, can't use anything. So I chose the ASG because the ASG is just chef's kiss, very good. But this challenge I knew was going to be pretty easy. I was going to fly by it. And then you guys are also going to see during this, I completed basically every single Dark Ops on either Liberty Falls or Terminus. I did this before I knew Citadel counted for the sticks and stones, otherwise I would have done that. So feels bad, man, feels bad. What also feels bad, this game right here that got to round 20 didn't even count because I completely forgot that you needed to remove all augments too, so I had to re-jump into this game. So as you can see, Dark Ops is already starting off on a very strong note. But also in this same exact game that I did the loadout on, I also got armed to the teeth. I actually didn't realize that I didn't have this. I thought I already did, but I guess it's because I use the wonder weapons on most maps, but you can't apply an ammo mod to. But yeah, so 2 easy challenges done right off the bat. Also, don't get caught lacking with the Gooner calling card. You're gonna get called out for it every single time. Now this one pained me the most. This was the absolute worst Dark Ops that I had to complete. Box Attic took me 3 hours to do, but this pained me even more than that. And that was to down within 10 seconds of consuming a perkaholic. And there's actually a chance that you don't get this if you don't down within 10 seconds. So I didn't realize I had Dying Wish on, so this almost screwed me over, and I almost lost a perkaholic. But we did it. Dark Ops done. Now speaking of Box Attic, you see this SVD that I'm holding? This was the last gun I needed for the Box Attic calling card, and it didn't give it to me. So I had to re-hit the box, and luckily I got another SVD on the next hit, which finally gave me the calling card. But I thought my game was bugged or I was missing something, and it was scary. So like the game before this, I had been in a game for 2 hours. This game I was in for an hour and 45 minutes. This calling card is dumb. Don't do it. I hated every second of it. Another pretty simple one was just popping 25 gobblegum throughout the match. Now this actually has been made easier because, well, you spawn in with 3 gobblegums now. But honestly, I just used a shit ton of rares and just kind of called it a day. Another one that was super simple to do was the amalgams in one shot. You need to kill 2 of them with 1 shot of a gun. So I just used the Sigma because, well, I'm a Sigma. We're gonna act like that never happened. But this one was super easy to do. I luckily got an insta-kill and got 2 amalgams weak enough to the point where it was going to be a 1-shot kill. I just had to line them up, and that was honestly probably the most annoying part. But yeah, this one is overly pretty simple to do. And you get the best calling card in the game, so the next one I decided to do was the Cursed Talisman calling card. If you don't know what this is, basically you have to do a side Easter egg, and what this side Easter egg allows you to do is get double points infinitely. But whenever you take damage, you lose points. But honestly, you make points so fast that it really doesn't affect you that much. And honestly, the Easter egg is pretty easy to do. It just takes a little bit of time, especially if you don't really know what you're doing. But the first step of this Easter egg is getting melee macchiato, which simple enough, you know, just a couple, throw up a couple dollars. And then we go to this wall in the cave system and we can punch it, revealing a map and a dead dude. Once we revealed this map, a little X on the map will appear and we need to go to that location and find a watch. All at the same time while avoiding the big hentai tentacle monster. COD really loves their tentacle monsters. I'm just realizing this, honestly. And then we can go back to the cave and give the dead dude his watch. I don't know how this is gonna help him. He's dead. He can't tell time. Next step is to wake the souls of the damned. We have to light 3 corpses on fire with Molotovs, thermal grenades, you know, the normal stuff. But then what this is going to do is spawn in a HVT. Now, HVTs, as we know, are a little bit tankier and kind of annoying, but you just have to kill 3 of them. It's not really the end of the world. The Mustang and Sallies are very, very good. But each one of these HVTs is going to drop a, like, medallion thing? I'm still not sure what it is, but it's going to drop a glowing thing that we need to pick up. But we had to do this once on the boat. The other one's on Castle Rock Island, which is where one of the Beam Smasher upgrade parts are. I lied. That was actually the wrong island. This is the island with the Beam Smasher one. But this was our 3rd and final location. Now we have to head all the way back to the dead guy, and he's gonna go on a whole motherfucking monologue. We don't gotta listen to any of it because we can just go straight to the talisman because we're just that goated. But the cool thing about this is he also gives you actually a ton of legendary loot. So that can be very helpful. But the final step was to make our way over to the Zetsubo looking island, and we just have to chill here for 3 rounds. That's it. Once those 3 rounds are up, we're going to get a chest that spawns in from God knows where, but then we can collect our talisman, and this gives us double points infinitely. So now what we have to do is get 20,000 points without being hit. And honestly, it's not really a challenge. Being able to camp in the Beam Smasher room and use Mustang and Sally's, this was not really a challenge at all. It just took a little bit of time. But I can't lie, this Easter egg was actually a lot of fun to do. But things that were not fun to do was the napalm kills. So basically for this calling card, you need to kill 10 elites in 1 match that are ignited by your napalm burst. So instead of going to round 400,000 and risking messing it up, I decided to do the Liberty Falls Easter egg because you can spawn HVTs, which count as elites. And because if you fail the step, you can infinitely get HVTs over and over again, I abused the living shit out of this. But I also found it pretty lame that you have to use an augment for this, especially if you don't have it unlocked. You can't even go for this challenge, which I found kind of lame. I'm not gonna lie. This was probably the least fun I had going for a Dark Ops challenge. It was just grindy and it wasn't enjoyable, like whatsoever. But you wanna know what was enjoyable? Round 20, no damage. Oh, okay, because I got the ray gun on round motherfucking 1. I'll take that. Are you kidding me? There's no fucking way. As you can see, I was pretty excited to get this ray gun. Honestly, this challenge itself really isn't the most difficult. It's just the abomination that's going to give you a tough time. But if you can save up enough salvage, you can get a mutant injection to deal with it. Now, there is a chance you can get 2 abominations, one on 15, one on 19. But if you get lucky like I did, you can either get a bug round on 15 or you can get it on 19, which will only make you have to deal with 1 abomination, which saves you so much effort. I breezed through this challenge because I did not have to deal with more than 1 abomination. I keep saying abomination. Abomination. Good lord. Let me be clear. I have 3 heads and I'm here to ruin your challenge. I just sat on the bank counter until around 20 because I had PhD, a ray gun, and speed cola. If there was any drops that I needed to get, I just activated my ether shroud, but I was basically able to breeze to round 20. And thank God, because I got hit by a spider on this spider round. So thank God you didn't have to complete round 20. Now our next challenge is Sticks and Stones, which is using melee macchiato, combat axes, and a combat knife. Or any melee weapon, I think. I use the knife. But you have to get to round 25 only using these 3 things. And unfortunately, this challenge is super fucking buggy. I had to attempt this 4 times because it didn't work. Before the patch, you could not like melee a Mangler's cannon. Otherwise, the challenge would not count. You can't kill the groundskeeper. For some reason, that messes it up. Cars exploding have a chance to fuck it up. Insta-kills have a chance to fuck it up. Nukes somehow don't. This challenge makes no sense to me. Like, at all. But my strategy was just chilling in the spawn room. I kept the door to like the quick revive area, like where you camp for bug rounds. I kept that closed and I basically just ran in a straight line and just threw combat axes once the zombies grouped up. This was the best way because then I don't have to attempt to melee, and because I don't have to melee, I'm not losing 50 HP every hit because I don't have Jug. That's one thing I will say, if you're playing this game without Jug, it gets hard very quick. Pause. The abominations were probably the most annoying thing to deal with because you can't also use elemental elements on your guns. So like abominations, they have a napalm burst weakness, like fire's their weakness, but you can't use it on the knife, otherwise it won't count. Again, like I said, this was probably up there for second or honestly most annoying challenge that I did. Next up was completing the Liberty Falls Easter egg in under 30 minutes. I suck at speedrunning, and I was able to do this on the third attempt, because I may have forgotten to bring Etherella into the boss fight twice. For some reason, I could not get the double points activated off rip, which, whatever, it's not the end of the world. But it does take up a lot of time. To combat this, I did use Gobblegum because I fucking suck at COD. And I used wall power on the Mustang and Sally's. And from here, it was basically just getting enough points as fast as possible to open up the map. And we needed to get the graveyard as fast as possible so we could find the groundskeeper, because this is required for the jet gun. And also the graveyard has fast spawns, so this is actually a good spot to be. But the only issue here was I did not have enough salvage to grab a mangler cannon. So we had to kill a couple zombies, lost a little bit of time. Other than that, it was fine. But then we can get to the skip of the Easter egg in a way, which if you use your last shot of the mangler cannon while activating the water valve, for some reason or another, you get to shoot your guns. I don't know how this works, but like it kind of just does. So honestly, I was not complaining because this made my life so much fucking easier. And honestly, I wish it was just like this normally. But after getting all the jet gun pieces and building it, we have to grab all the LTG pieces. And then we have to build the LTG on top of the bank. During all this, I was also grabbing Etherella parts. I also don't know what I was doing wrong during Etherella because it took multiple times to actually get the parts to like get sucked up by the jet gun. Like it would just not register half the time. So I don't know if I was doing something wrong or if the game just for some reason doesn't like Etherella. I don't know what's going on, to be honest. But even with the ether canisters like duplication getting patched, this step is still very easy and you can still get it done pretty quickly. And that's mainly because like you're able to do this on such a low round that the HVTs, while they do have increased health, it's really not that big of an issue. And I'm still gonna be honest, I really don't know how this step fucking works. I'm just guessing on 90% of these steps because I haven't done the Liberty Falls Easter egg since it came out on launch, so I was basically trying to remember how to do all of this from scratch and from memory. It was kind of a shit show, I'm not gonna lie, which is probably also why I had to do it a couple times because I just kept messing up. But then once we actually got to the boss fight, this is honestly where it gets hard. Like this is the only hard part about this Easter egg is this boss fight, especially with Rampage Inducer and not having Jug. It can turn to shit pretty quick. But once we are actually able to activate Etherella in the second phase of the boss fight, this is where it honestly gets really fun. Etherella is OP as shit, but she is a little hard to control sometimes. And if you activate her a little too early, it can kind of fuck you over. I thought I was gonna fail this time because it ended so early, but luckily I was able to get enough damage on the Abomination to kill it within the 30 minutes. And like honestly, this was the hardest part for me, is just the Abomination. I cannot kill these fuckers. I hate the Abomination. I never want to see this thing ever return. I don't know what it is or why, but for whatever reason, this thing is my kryptonite. And I almost actually lost the boss fight here. That was scary. But because I'd used wall power and stuff, I had more than enough points to double pap, which made my life so much easier. But honestly doing this boss fight without Jug is kind of scary just because on how fast the zombies do hit. And I just realized my live split timer did not record. I had it up but I just don't think it recorded. I'm just realizing that now. But here we go. This is the liberated calling card. For some reason, it also didn't pop up at the end of the game. We did in fact get it. And I don't know if this is a Dark Ops challenge or not. It's corrupted, so I can't even see. This is all I see when I look at the video file. So if this is a Dark Ops challenge and I'm just not remembering, I'm sorry. And for our final one, we have the Patient 13 boss fight on round 51. And this one was fun. I'm not gonna lie. I almost threw this challenge. And this was my first attempt. So I would have been a little annoyed if I did fail it. But thankfully the Mustang and Sally's are just, oh my god, they're so good. I didn't put napalm burst on it like an absolute idiot, which was not very smart of me, I'm not gonna lie to you. Since this was only my second time in this boss fight, I still really didn't overly know what to do. All I knew is basically just shoot the boss. Shoot its weak spots when you can, shoot the tentacles when you can, and that's basically all I knew. I didn't even know it had a like wipe attack, because when I did this originally, we beat it so quick that it didn't even have the wipe attack. I brought in the mutant injector too because, well, it saves my ass. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of shocked with how little damage it does do to the boss. But you are basically invincible, so I guess that does kind of make sense. But I made the mistake here of not knowing it had a wipe attack, and I didn't know how it worked, so unfortunately, I do take it down. But this was low-key a good move, because now I don't gotta worry about the zombies hitting me. I don't gotta worry about amalgams. I can just shoot the boss. And just like that, we beat the Easter egg on round 51. I mean, like, I'm so big brain without being big brain. It's low-key nuts. But just like that, we completed our last and final Dark Ops challenge. Now, I know it looks a little weird, but we did, in fact, all of the ones that I can do right now. Nebula and a million kills are being worked on in the background as we talk right now. So I hope that I will see you guys in that video soon enough. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a like, leave a sub. It is the easiest way to help me out. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. With a blunt, Juliet with a bottle, live like Jack